Hi, I'm Morgan with RT Book Reviews, and today I'm with erotica author Lexxie Couper. Welcome.
Hi, how you going?
Hi, and I actually abducted her earlier from we're at the RT Book Reviews convention, a book lovers convention, and I abducted you because you're from Australia, and I'm like, I don't know the next time I'm going to see you. I have to go. I dragged you over, and I'm like, let's talk erotica, let's talk ebooks, because you really are one of those in the industries when you talk about digital erotica, your name comes up because you have different genres, you have different lengths, you have different types of characters.
I do, yeah, you're right. A jack of all trades.
She gets around.
Definitely, but don't to my husband.
Well, first answer me the question, why erotica? Why do you find that your voice fits with that genre?
I'm going to say I think I must just be a little bit naughty from the beginning. But my mother wouldn't like that. I don't know. My sister-in-law gave me a silhouette desire when I was 14, and I remember the very first sex scene, and it was naughty, and I really liked it, and it kind of went from there. And I remember reading it without my mum. What's that? Nothing, and it was maybe from then, teenage, a little bit forbidden, and it may have gone from there, but yeah, I do. I like the kiss, and then it's got to be more than the kiss. I don't want to close the door.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of readers, and they don't want that either, because the physical side of a relationship can affect so much the emotional side.
Absolutely.
And that's what you get in your erotica. You do that a lot. You do character development through some of the sexual, not even sexual tension, but the actual acts. You can show trust, or you can show, different things really blossoms from that physicality.
It does, yeah, and I think it should be. I mean, it shouldn't just be they get there, they do their thing, and then they get on with their life. It should be part of their life, and for characters, part of their development and the story arc. If it's not, then it's kind of gratuitous. Really shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
So, that's what I think.
Well, let's talk your next book, and that's Nick Blackthorne. And I know we've been seeing posters of it. It's really been getting some great coverage because you have an amazing hero. He is the rock star to end all rock stars. He is the bad boy, awesome musician. Tell us all about him.
Nick was a character that popped up in a book called Tropical Sin. And Tropical Sin was a ménage, a male-female ménage, and I know he had a past, and he was brokenhearted, and when the story finished, he wouldn't stop talking to me. It was like he wasn't done, and that broken heart just he wouldn't go away, and I had to write it. And Nick's story evolved for me and unfolded. There was things that I didn't know about him that I discovered as I was writing it.
Was the fame aspect, because actually in the book you don't necessarily focus on the fame, you focus on him kind of getting outside of that and finding himself again. But did you find that hard to kind of try to crawl in the mindset of somebody that literally he's been in the spotlight for so long?
I did. I tried to imagine, because I mean I'm at home and I change the kitty litter and cook the dinner and I go grocery shopping. There's nothing, but I tried to imagine what it would be like to never be able to step outside your door without people in front of you, and how that would really impact on every part of your life. And for Nick, it started quite young. He was only 20, and how that would affect you as you're growing up. What that would do. And I mean, he did. He went through the whole God. I'm
God. Everyone wants
me. I get whatever I want. Exactly right. And then as he grew up and he realised that wasn't necessarily the case, or it could continue to be the case, but it was empty. So and yeah, I really tried to imagine if I was ridiculously famous. Wouldn't that be nice? But I would like to think, how would I deal with that? And that was what I was trying to get through with Nick as well, and how he dealt with that, and where he went with that. So yeah, and it was really interesting. I mean, I like to tell my husband I read lots of Who Weeklies.
Gossip magazines.
Yeah, and I read lots I bought them and I read them and I looked at the pictures and read everything, and it was great if you went to doctor's surgery, like they're like 2 years old and the headlines are about things that, yes, she is pregnant, but of course she's not pregnant. Right. She had a hot dog, or
she just ate dinner that night.
And exactly right. And imagine, living in that environment and what it would be like. And and I hope I got that across with Nick, particularly by the end of the book, and what happens with him.
Well, I love that we're talking about your heroes because you are absolutely known for your Aussie heroes, and you come by it. You come by it for real because you actually live in Australia.
Yes. I have my own Aussie hero.
So you gotta craft the Aussie hero. Paint a picture in my mind of the perfect Aussie hero.
Okay, the typical Aussie bloke. He's very laid back. He's not into show and he's not pompous. He's not overly affectionate in public. The public displays of affection do not really exist at all in Australia. It just doesn't, you know. And he doesn't really waste words. Very laconic, very almost sarcastic, but when they love, you know, that's it. But the idea of saying "I love you," you know, you're all right.
It's an inside thing.
Geez, you're all right, aren't you? Want to go to the pub? No, that's not quite right. But yeah, they're very, and I think particularly for Australian men, it's very much a case of mateship with other men, and when they find their true love, it's an extension of that mateship with real heart, you know, to that.
Yeah.
And I like my Aussie men. They're laid back.
We all like your Aussie men.
Thank you. So, and I mean, I grew up in the country, so they're very Aussie men. They're not so much the city Aussie men. So we get the g'days and the fair incomes, and occasionally the crikeys. So you know, they're really Australian guys, and yeah, and I do like my Aussie men. So.
Well, I know that you have a new book coming out, and this is a little bit in the future, and this is a departure for you because you are switching genres a little bit.
I am.
You're getting a little bit away from maybe the erotica, at least for this one.
At least for this one.
At least for this one. Now, in this new one, I need a title, and I also need. Is there an Aussie? Is it Australian?
It is
okay,
Australian.
good.
Yes, that's
That's
right.
what I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What's the title of your first non-erotic?
It's called Suspicious Ways, and it's set in the Sydney sailing world. And we have a young American heroine who her family moved to Australia, basically a sailing family, loved sailing, and she grew up sailing in America, and then when they moved, she was 18 when they moved to Australia, and her father dies, and she tries to continue the charter business on Sydney Harbour, which the sailing world is very dominated and old men, you know, they're those old salts.
The generational thing.
Absolutely,
yeah.
and one of her father's very good friends was an Australian sailor, and they had a run-in a few years previous, and then he went off, and he's a very successful yacht designer, and then it's them coming back together and addressing what happened in the past between them, and then moving forward. So we have an Australian yacht designer, again that accent. I don't know if he says crikey. I don't think he does. But and then finding their way together.
Was it exciting for you to take on this new challenge because you have so many fans and you have so many books that people really know you for, and now you're doing a little bit of a tweak to it? Is that a little nerve-wracking?
It really is. I must admit, and I honestly asked my editor if I should come up with a pen name that's not erotic, and she said no, absolutely not. You know, before that, you know, you have readers, they will go with whatever you're doing, and I know this sounds really silly. I wanted to write a book that my mum could read.
Why is that silly? That just sounds like good common sense to me.
She asked, and I'm like, not this one, not this one, and I finally said, guess what, Mum? I have a book for you.
So that's Suspicious Ways.
Suspicious Ways.
And when can we find that?
I think it's November.
Excellent. So this year.
November.
This year.
Yeah, this year. Yes.
Well, you know that I'm going to be looking for it.
Thank you.
It was so nice talking with you today.
It was lovely to talk to you.
And welcome to America.
Thank you.
You're visiting all the way from Australia. I'm so excited to
yeah.
see you here at the convention.
Thank you. Thank you very much.